The proof of the pudding is in the eating, is the old cliche, isn't it? And we will have to wait to see what difference, practically speaking, this makes in the months ahead. Now, we're in periods of great uncertainty in terms of the weather conditions over the winter months, which mean that the numbers crossing anyway will reduce, which in turn, of course, takes some of the pressure off the government. But as soon as we get into a period of better weather, and traditionally those numbers really do start to surge again, if we see that continuing to happen and still the backlog of those waiting for asylum claims to be processed continuing to grow, and still the number of hotel rooms continuing to grow, then there already is enormous pressure on the government. In fact, Rishi Sunak, he's been having regular meetings with his backbenchers. He has been told in no uncertain terms that this really is pivotal for the government in terms of an issue there that could really make the difference in terms of whether this government can survive the next general election. And he knows that he needs to get on the front foot on this. Looking at some of the details again, Mark, the 700 extra National Crime Agency officers, I think that's to be welcome, because obviously you need to go after the people smugglers across in France and their tentacles that spread over to this country as well. You need to dismantle them if you want to dismantle the operation and the model that's being used by them. And also these additional raids, we're told 50% more in the way of raids on companies that are employing illegal workers. Well, I think that's important as well, because many of those that are coming across want to get into the illegal economy, the black economy, and to work to send money home. So if they can increase those raids, that could have an effect as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's one more statistic that's popped up that may have a sort of reflection on what we have just heard, and that is that this other power that they've had, knowingly arriving without permission. We're being told fewer than 100 have actually been arrested under that new power. That's 0.3% of those who've crossed since the law was changed. So it's actually making these things stick, even if they introduce them.
Yes, I mean, to be honest, we were never expecting, even though with this law change, that they were going to start arresting people en masse for crossing. Because remember, what happens as part of the process is that the vast majority, 98% or more, then go on to claim asylum. So they are treated in a different way at that point, you know, from people that are deemed to have been crossing by irregular routes and illegally into the country. They are then assessed as potential victims, if you like, and that's a different process. So actually arresting those individuals was never really part of the process that the government envisaged in this change in the law. What it has allowed them to do, and what they have been doing, is those they identify as effectively being driving the boat, manning the engine, taking them across. There is a cohort of individuals who do this as part of the money that they then don't have to pay the people smugglers. So they are part of the people smuggling process. They can be arrested and then prosecuted. So that's what this legislation is being used to do, and to go after those who are driving the boats.